Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre, specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence, and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. However, if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cast of the Pod. We got a special edition today. One, it's not a horror film. Two, it was hey, did you see the movie? And it was like, no, but I'm gonna go see the movie. And three, we have a special guest on today. We got Aaron on. I keep on calling you the foreman because I mean that was how I first met you on Felipe's garage. You're the foreman over there.
Yeah, man. I mean, you get honored with a title, you keep it forever. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so artist extraordinaire, tattoo artist extraordinaire, Aaron. Deb's over here in the corner. She's not talking to you. Deb.
I'm waiting for you. I didn't want to talk over you.
Okay.
You were introducing our special guest.
Oh, okay. So since it was your idea, Aaron, do you want to go ahead and say what movie it is?
Yeah, so the new Star Wars movie, Mandalorian and Grogu, which, is a Star Wars movie, but, it's its own thing, which is kind of dope.
Or like we like to call it in San Antonio, la película de Mando y Hijo de Yoda.
Oh, sí,
Hijo de Yoda?
El Hijo de Yoda. He's always going to be Baby Yoda to me. I know his name's Grogu, but it's just, that's how it is.
I was thinking about that today. How crazy was that? Like, they decided not to say anything up top, so then just everybody just assumed and named him for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy that they just decided, this is Baby Yoda. I don't care what you say after this, but...
Yeah. I remember when they first said Grogu, it was like, oh, okay. Cool.
Not as cool, but it was.
Well, because there was like Yoda and Yaddle. Yaddy. I was afraid it was going to be a name like that, So, I mean, Grogu was good.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know what our opinions are going to be for this. So let me read the MDib real quick. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Once a lonely bounty hunter, Mandalorian Din Djarin and his apprentice Grogu embark on an exciting new Star Wars adventure. Director Jon Favreau, writers Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Noah Clore, starring Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, and Steve Blum. All right, so you go first, Aaron.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want my initial reaction? How? What?
Are we gonna?
Thoughts.
I haven't played an intro yet because we're on Zoom now. So you're the test subject using Zoom. we had to go back in time to find Zoom. We were having some issues on our Riverside app. So we're testing this right here. So I didn't play the intro. So do you want to do spoilers or do you want to stay away from the spoilers?
I think we gotta do spoilers, right?
We can just do a warning because I mean,
the movie was cool. I guess that's all we got.
Hey,
I can't get into it.
Have you heard Cast of the Pod? Because I mean, some of our episodes were like, this movie sucked, and then we talked about, or this movie was great, and then we talked about something else completely not on topic.
Not even movie
or
related.
Some of the other times I've been on here where we go, that movie was good. And then talk about wrestling for 30 minutes.
Speaking of which, you have been on Cast the Pod before, that Gravediggers review. It's been taken offline and put back online so many times, but it is one of our highest listened to episodes.
Hey, you know what's crazy? And this is going to sound super egotistical, it's not, but a couple other guest spots I've done are the highest rated, and I think it's the subject, not me, just the subject matter that we chose. You know what I mean? I mean that one was my thought. You know what I mean? So maybe we got something going on.
Yeah. I mean, you might be the lucky rabbit's foot here.
Yeah. No, that's funny too because I've literally, because like in your, especially on Facebook for whatever reason, I'll get like just random, it'll pop up. It'll be something about some other hip hop group, Gravediggers, who remembers? And then I'll go to post a link, and it's always, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. It's hard to find, but yeah, anytime I post it, I get a bunch of good feedback. So yeah, man, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that a lot.
It's funny because I'll get an email and it'll say your episode is back online, and it's like it was off. Like Spotify took it down, and then I've gotten that email like 4 times. It's back online. It's like I didn't even know it was down, and then it got, I don't want to say shadow banned, but it kind of got blocked on YouTube. So there's not many hits on the YouTube version of it, but yeah. But on Spotify, we've got tons of hits, and it's been down several times. Like,
it should just be. Do you play some of the music? I can't remember now.
Yeah, we have a few clips in there, which I was led to believe when you're doing a discussion and a review, it's fair.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they bring it back up. But it hits for one song, and they take it down for however long it's down, and then it comes back up. Then it hits for another song. There's still a couple of more songs, so I'm sure it's going to get dropped a couple more times and brought back a couple more times before it's done.
I remember we were even careful with like some of the song titles, one in specific. We didn't say it because we knew we would get banned for it. So, yeah, man, that's interesting.
Yeah, but so let's go all in with Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu.
All right. So first off, I wanted to say that there's some really great cameos and they cast it really well. And I want this on record. And this is my opinion, and I don't think anybody. I mean, if you disagree, I'm an easy guy to find. We can discuss it in person. You know what I'm saying? But Sigourney Weaver is in the movie, and she is a baddie in no matter what universe she's in, baby.
I wanted to say that she is the king, and yes, I said she is the king of sci-fi appearances. Nobody's touching like who else has been in as many things? Maybe Samuel L. Jackson. Like she's been in she was in Ghostbusters, Aliens, in Star Wars. She's been in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and those are
amazing in all of it.
Yes. Yes, and she is the we've got into it a couple of times on Cast the Pod about how there's that one scene in Endgame in Avengers where it's like all the girls are there to back up Captain Marvel, and anybody who knows anything about comic books knows that none of those girls, nobody on that field, guys or girls, could back up Captain Marvel because she's just such a badass already. But that one scene seems a little forced, and Sigourney Weaver is the action hero. Like there was no let's make her a badass girl. Sigourney Weaver in everything she's done has always just been badass. Period.
Yep.
So she was a discussion there. Did you hear that part of the I guess you would say not writer, but part of a clause of her being in the film?
No, I didn't hear anything about it.
She said, well, they worked out the money and they worked out everything they're supposed to work out. But the main point was she had to have screen time with the puppet.
Oh,
with Grogu.
With Grogu?
Yeah.
Not CGI, not anything like that. It had to. She had to be on screen with Grogu.
Well, I did love the part where he was all trying to take her
snacks.
She stopped him. He was like, "Oh."
Another thing where I feel like a lot of the fanboys are going to complain about like the little like funny parts with Grogu and the corny stuff. You know what I mean? But listen, here's my thing, and bro, I hate the fanboys because there's so many people that hate on Star Wars, and it's just like, bro, there's so much good to be like. You're focusing on the wrong things. But I will say, like, that's always been part of George Lucas's vision. You know what I mean? Is to have that little bit of comedic relief, with some of those characters. So when I see it, I know, like, as an adult fan, I go, okay, this part's not for me. This is for my kid or somebody else's kid. Like, I get that. So I don't mind it. Like, it's not my favorite part, but those parts definitely were in there. You know what I mean? When we started talking about snacks, is what I started thinking about.
Well, people have to understand that the business of filmmaking, the first name in the business of filmmaking is business. And an example of that is, spoiler alert, you have been warned, the razor wing is back. It's not the same
Razor
ship.
Crest.
It's Razor Crest. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it's the same model that a. Go ahead. What were you-
Oh, good. I do not want to interrupt you, buddy, but I almost forgot about this. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Because in the nerd world, and I was at Comic-Con when this had happened, so Hasbro, so they do this new thing where it's all like, fan funded, right? So it's like, we're going to put out da-da-da, and you pay for it, and, we get pre-orders and whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and then it comes out, and then it sells out, and then it goes bonkers. So the sail barge from Return of the Jedi was one of the first ones.
Yep.
And you try to find one of, I don't know, 500. I mean, it's crazy money now, right? So they did that with the Razor Crest.
I remember.
And then all these people paid all this money, and then like 2 episodes later, they blew it up. And all the nerds were so pissed. They were so angry. They're like, it's not even part of the series anymore. Because let's be honest, the droids, the ships, all these things are part of this world, right?
Right.
They're their own characters. The Millennium Falcon is, bro, when they brought the newest, after the trilogy, the 6, 7, 8, all the other ones. When I was in the theater, and the Millennium Falcon came across the screen for the first time, people went crazy. That's its own character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think these fans thought it was going to be the same thing with the Razor Crest. And then it was not, because they blew it up. So when they brought it back, I was like, oh, maybe that's a little nod to, sorry, guys.
Well, that was what I was saying about the business of movie making is, that they brought this Crest in. I keep on wanting to call it the Razor Wing. But it's got
to be a better name, bro.
It's got.
That so
did you notice it had that yellow paint job on it?
Yeah.
So they can sell a different one now.
Yeah.
It's like having the different color R2 units, and it just marketing.
Yep.
And then they also, spoiler alert, there's a baby Greedo in the movie, so you know they're gonna make the little monito for it, and they're gonna be selling it.
Yeah, they better. I want that.
I just want to know: is there gonna be like a baby Harrison Ford to shoot him first?
Yes.
So
there better be.
You were talking about how people upset with Star Wars and all that. That is one of the things that pissed me off about Star Wars when they changed Han shooting first. But I mean, there's a whole thing going on there. He was a bad guy. It's okay for him to be a bad guy, and then he turned his life around, and
Yes. The problem with changing that scene, it changes who the character is at that point in time. That's George. Come on, bro. It's not acceptable, dude. You had us believing something for so long. You can't change it. You know what I mean? Like, I have he's a creator, whatever. I have no issues with some of the things that he's done, changing and whatever. But that's the one where it's like, you cannot change my childhood. You know what I mean? Like, he was this thing. He
was a badass space pirate, and then he just became, defending himself. He was just a normal guy at the bar defending himself.
Yes. These things happen. But also the greatest thing about his storyline is, I would argue that as we are as men, when you have somebody as wonderful and beautiful as Princess Leia, she'll change you around. She'll make you an honest man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just look past her making out with her brother that one time. But that's neither here nor there. But
I think there's a whole section on a certain website about that now. So.
I wouldn't doubt
Freud
it.
was right. I don't know, dude. These people are wild.
So there were 3 people I wanted to talk to about this movie, and luckily you saw it first and then reminded me about it. I didn't realize it was out yet, but I wanted to talk to you, Cookbook, and then my boy Optic from Outpost Collectibles. But like I said, you reminded me first, and it was like, oh shit! So Deb and I went to go see it, and today we're on.
Perfect.
And I told him it's perfect because I checked the seats to see how many people, but today the Spurs are playing, so like everything was nobody was in the theater. No, it was like the theater was.
Yeah, we're here in San Antonio, so everybody was watching the game. So
we're like, let's take advantage of it.
Bro, what do you think? We're gonna make some predictions right now.
Well, it's 2-2 now.
I know.
I think we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna get it on the last game.
I hope so. Shout out to my buddy George. He's the biggest Spurs fan of all time, and I love this dude to death. And he is He is so excited, and I for nothing else. Like I think they're gonna. I really do. I honestly think they're gonna win. Look at everything, the stats and everything. I think they are gonna win it. But just for my mans, I hope they pull it through.
I as a Spurs fan, I'm wearing my Spurs hat right now. I, as a Spurs fan, want them to win, but I wonder how San Antonio is right now.
They're already down there.
Necios are going up and down, military, literally setting the road on fire. Somebody got shot the other day because he is opening up in the sky in the parking lot right off of Military Drive, which is a highly occupied area, and then the security guard shot him because he was shooting, and then he pointed at the security guard. There's been accidents, overturned vehicle right there. There's no reason for a car to be going so fast that it gets overturned on military. I mean, it's like 35 miles per hour right there. Just anyway.
Right, yeah.
Anyways, back to Mandalorian and Grogu. There's some pet peeves about this movie for me.
Of course. Just enjoy it, Josh.
I can't.
That's what I
can't.
That's what I was saying.
I did. This is look, the same thing as talking to Cook. You old curmudgeon bastards. They're gonna be this and this and this. Come on, bro. No, I get it. Go ahead.
Okay. So go. Not going into the political side of things, but I saw how, like, in the Acolyte and all that, how people got upset about the history of Star Wars being changed and all that. There was none of that in this film. For anybody worried about that, this is a good, take your kids out to see the movie. And my biggest complaint is I would have loved to seen a whole fucking season of this. Actually, this movie could have been like 3 to 4 episodes, like half a season.
Yep.
There is nothing in this movie that makes it like when you saw Transformers the movie back in the day, and Spike says, "Oh shit." Just that one cuss word. That one cuss word was like, oh, you'd never see that on the TV show. There was nothing in this movie that couldn't have been done or put out on a series, and we actually would have got a little bit more storytelling if it would have been stretched out to 4, 5, 6 episodes.
And that's the issue of the time of streaming, bro. And what I hope is, you're absolutely right. I do not disagree with you. What I hope is that they tie this into the next season, and then a movie, and then a season, you know what I mean, and keep building it. That'd be dope. But here's the thing, is you cannot tell the same story in 2 hours that you can do 10 seasons of, like, Games of Thrones. You know what I mean? Games of Thrones. Like, that storyline is so epic because they took the time to get into every one of those characters and develop them and make it what it is. You cannot tell that story in 2 hours. You can't.
I've seen some people talk about how predictable the movie is, and if you want to be that much of a curmudgeon and be that nitpicky about it, everything there is not one big shocking surprise in this movie. And psychologically wise, you can see the story that they're telling, the ups and the downs, the peaks and the valleys, and once again, you've been warned. They kind of pointed it pretty deep when it looked like Mando was going to die.
Yeah, my wife turns to me. She goes, he doesn't die, does he? He does. He does. She's so pissed at me, bro. I go, yeah, he dies.
Well, there were some people in the theater, and it was mostly like kids. And when they made that little happy scene when Grogu's making him hit his head inside the little the mud igloo, but then when it started getting kind of bad, like, I could tell the kid in front just kind of turned and like, is he gonna die?
Yeah.
There was also a baby in the theater. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
The baby was like every now and then making noises that Grogu would make, and I'm like, wait a minute, which one's which?
Which one's making the sounds?
That's fantastic.
See, the kid didn't even bother me that much because it's a kid's movie.
Yeah, no, it didn't bother me either. I was just kind of like trying to figure out.
Mixed in the sound effects. When we go to horror films and people have their toddlers, it's not even toddlers, infants, and it's like, man, and
they're crying and crying. Like, get that kid out of here.
So there is a scene when Mando get Din Djarin. I see, that was another thing. After they came out with his name, I was like, nope, he's still Mando.
Yep.
He's still.
Plus, it's easier to say.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a scene when he gets poisoned, and it looks really bad. Like it looks like he's gonna die. And Grogu builds a structure, a little hut out of mud and twigs and everything like that, and puts him in there. And he uses the Force to lift him in. And of course, Grogu's not a carpenter or anything like that, so his feet are still sticking out. And
He's definitely not
trying to push him in.
His measurements were a bit off.
yeah.
I know he's a kid, but come on.
He's like,
Din Djarin is 5'6" of Grogu, so his proportions were a little off. Anyways, so he lifts him in there, and then you see him go into the hut, and you can't see into the hut, so you just see his feet out there, and then you hear thunk where he hits his head once, and I was like, "That's great." And
then they kept doing it.
and then I thought, I thought I was like, he's not going to do it again. This movie is not going to go there, and then he thunk hits him again, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. And then thunk. He hits him like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I think after a while, I think it was just like, oh, remember that time you wouldn't let me have them snacks? And I finished them quads? Here you go, motherfucker. Like,
So
it actually was on purpose, bro.
So now
He just covered his feet.
Yes,
with
leaves, and so not to be that grumpy old man or anything like that, but so like I'm being nitpicky with it for real, legit. I would have liked to seen it on TV. I like the movie. I'll tell you that right now. I wasn't blown away by it or anything like that, or I didn't feel like I wasted the money to go see it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I did want to see Gina Carano after she screwed over Netflix, but recently,
Bro, don't get me started. That's a whole nother episode.
But what I was very happy about, and I kind of gave up after halfway through the movie and we didn't see him. Paul Sun-Yun Lee, which was Appa from Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
He is back in the just seeing how much of a Star Wars geek that he is, and then when they put him in the series, and then when they made his own toys and everything like that was the thing that kind of freaks me out the most, is when we started watching the show during COVID. It was like, man, this guy looks like Deborah's dad, and this old man, and he's like he's a year older than me. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yo.
But
yeah, it's cool to see him.
Yes.
It's funny because we told my mom, doesn't this look like my dad? And she was like, no. And then she started watching it, and she was like, oh, it does look like your dad.
He moves like him, he talks like him, and yeah.
And then she watched the whole show, the whole series.
Yeah. But cool. What was your favorite part of Mandalorian? What did you want to talk about the most?
Okay, so not the most. Well, actually, yeah, let's do that. I thought it was so cool that we actually got to see the Omani. Like, that was so dope to me because, especially in the collector world, that action figure has been crazy, and so watching what that worth has gone to, and the whole story behind that action figure, and so to see them actually on the screen, and so those that are listening that don't know what that
I don't. I won't. I won't front, so I don't know who that is. Is that that the one that looked like the Cobra head on the side?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yep, the weird shade, bro. The action figure looks so wonky, and I think that's part of the whole thing. But yeah, so it has this big Cobra shaped head and these weird long gangly arms. But they were pretty vicious, bro. I was really impressed how the angle they took with it. So that was really cool to see.
I was excited to see the character, not knowing any of that, but because it reminded me of this movie. I think it was called Dreamscape.
Oh yeah.
And that towards the end of that movie, the villain, it's kind of like Inception. They're going into people's dreams. It was a big cobra headed creature, and it snapped Dreamscape back to me. So that's cool. So yeah, I reacted to a character I didn't realize was such a big thing.
Yeah.
I like that you could see the insides of they weren't official AT-ATs. Wait, are you an AT-AT or an AT-AT? I've seen arguments.
Can you see that? I just moved, so I don't have everything up yet. I don't know if you remember that when we recorded before, I had tons of stuff. But yeah, AT-ATs are my favorite vehicle in the entire Star Wars universe.
Exactly. Even for me, it's the AT-AT, and then it's the Snow Speeder, and then the Millennium Falcon for me.
I hear you, and I don't hate that. I love that very much. TIE fighters are a big deal to me.
The Darth Vader's TIE fighter is in my top 5 there.
There's so many, and people don't realize this too. And I know
TIE Interceptor.
It's gonna be like this freaking nerd. There's so many versions of TIE fighters in that universe.
Yes.
I mean, hundreds of them, and they're all. I love them all. They're amazing. They're very versatile. What drove me crazy though, so I have the the different variations of the hats up there. For those that are listening at home, I have listen, I grew up poor white trash, and when I got older and I could fix up some old toys, I did. So I have some AT-ATs here. But what drove me crazy is they never put out like that size, the big one of the armored one from Rise of Skywalker. That one that came in. Sorry, I forgot. I blanked for a minute. But the armored one where it's just like crazy, like that one's super gangster, and they never brought out like the big toy of that. So that kind of bummed me out. But yeah, the version in this movie is kind of cool too.
There's probably some third-party manufacturers or whatever that'll do the plating or some snap-ons or something like that. I mean, it's not the same, but
yeah. But also, I think at some point I'll probably just 3D print it and be done with it.
Yeah, but seeing the inside. That had been things people had been talking about. You'd never seen it on a film or anything like that. Everywhere else. But what I was saying is that there's some people that because I say AT-AT. I've always said AT-AT because it's not A period T period dash. It's dash. But yeah, I've got into got into it with some fellow Star Wars nerds. It's AT-AT and it's ATST and it's like whatever.
Whatever that. I mean.
Deb's already going, oh my God.
Yeah. The cool kids call it AT-AT. You know what I mean?
Now, the ironic thing about it was that Din Djarin, like, came in through the back door on the AT-AT and kicked all of it. He gave him a proctology exam and just kicked everybody's ass, literally. Kicked him,
Bro, that scene, though, name worse ways to die than to fall off the side of an AT-AT down a cliff. Like, that's pretty rough.
He wasn't even. So that was another thing. So we're all saying, this is a family film and you can take your kids to go see it and all that. It starts off the immediate ass kicking at the beginning. He's just point blank. Let me burn you first. You know what? I'm not even going to put you out of the misery. And then when he throws the pilots. That was great because those are my favorite characters: the TIE fighter pilots and the AT-AT pilots.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It just I have a TIE fighter pilot back over here somewhere. I don't have many Star Wars for some reason. I don't know why.
I know we were looking at like.
Well, you know why?
Don't you have Star Wars?
I had tons of Star Wars figures and collectibles, and then in '98 we had the 200-year flood in San Antonio, and then
we lost like 90% of our stuff.
Everything in our house, Deb's wedding dress, everything got and then the next year in '99 we had another 200-year flood. It's like, wait a minute,
that's not the math ain't math in there, bro. Cool.
But
bro, in this house move, I about just sent you a box because it's cool to have all these awesome collectibles when people come to the house and go, holy crap, da 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 da. Until you got to move all that shit.
Yes.
It's like, bro, I don't need any of this. Like I said earlier, like a lot of that stuff I just didn't have as a kid. So that kind of cool stuff.
For me, I got into the thrift shop when I was a kid. It was the Dagobah playset.
Oh, sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was one of my the only thing I didn't like about it was the sponge for the quicksand.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you see this meme all over the place. When you were a kid, you thought there was going to be quicksand everywhere. Because everybody was dying in quicksand in the movies.
Yes.
But you did have an AT-AT, right? Because I remember moving it.
Yeah, I did. And everything got flooded and nasty and the water was yellow and things got molded and it was bad.
Do you remember, was it the motorized one where you like...
It was... We got it at KB's. No, it didn't walk, but it had the light up turrets on the face, and they would go back and forth, and they were kind of pink.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was sick.
But so we're saying I went off on a tangent talking about the AT-AT, the AT-AT pilots.
Yeah. Yes.
I like when they told the guy, I didn't know any of those side characters, so I don't know if there's any back history to them, any of the Imperials that he was hunting down. But they were like, we're just pilots. He's like, get up there. Just
yeah, bro. I drive this thing. That's it. I didn't sign up for the military part. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
I'm not a grunt, bro. I'm not doing that.
And as soon as they got up there, they didn't get one punch in. They didn't get to pull the trigger and miss or anything like that. He just he threw them off the side. So not only did they fall off stories of height off the AT-ATs, then they hit the side of the cliff and then fell down the
and bounced.
Yeah, they hit the rock.
It's not an easy death.
I liked when Mondo walked into the where they were having their meeting, and they all just pointed.
Oh yeah,
they dropped the guns and then they all pointed. It was like, thanks.
Deborah says Mondo because that's her dad's name. It's Mando. At Din Djarin, Deb. But.
I say Mondo.
Yeah, I dig it. Keep it. You have a personal connection to it. It's cool.
But I liked how Grogu was more active in this one than he is in the series. Like when they went into, I think it was the AT-AT, and he found the bombs in there, and Grogu was on top of him, and he was all hitting his helmet.
That's probably one of my favorite parts. Knocking his helmet.
And he's like, yeah. Okay, hold on. She's all hitting him more.
I don't care how jerky he moves every now and then because he's a puppet. I love the fact that he's a Muppet, a puppet, or whatever. You know, it
1,000%.
It adds more heart to it.
Agreed. And it looks better.
Yes.
It looks better. Yes, there's going to be a couple of herky-jerky things, but for the most part, it looks more realistic. It's way better. I
did have an issue. Okay, so I saw a picture a while back of yoked Hutt.
Let's get into this.
Rata the Hutt. I wanted to look up their names. I don't know why I didn't. Let's see. So Steve, Jeremy Allen White. Who is that guy? It's that guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
From Iron Claw and Shameless and The Bear.
Yeah, The Bear is most known, yeah.
That voice was a little annoying. His voice wasn't annoying. It didn't fit Rata for me.
I think it was cool in this sense, and I agree with you. It didn't fit that body, but I think that spoke more to who that Hutt was as a person, as an entity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that voice fit who he is inside, not how he looks on the outside.
Okay, yeah, he was the younger, changed. That was, some people might complain about the scene when he's there and he's like, I'm not my father. Yeah. I'm a good guy. He was a bad guy.
I don't want to be like him.
But I guess he's the emotional teen, the trying to step out of his dad's shadow and all that. I mean,
he's Luke in a way. You know what I mean?
I can see that. It's just, it's just kind of strange seeing a Hutt with abs.
Oh, it's the best. Bro, as a fitness guy, I'm just like, all we've ever seen is like the fat, slobby, Hutts. And this dude is shredded. Bro, he's so bulky. He's so great. And when he stands up and flexes that first time, I'm just like, yes, this dude has been putting in the work, son.
He wasn't Rata the Hutt. He was Rata the Test. But no.
Yeah. Well, hey, it appeared to me that in that little Coliseum cage fighting thing, I don't think they were testing. Because he probably would have melted the cup, and that's okay. I'm down with it.
There was definitely some wind straw in there. There was
the test, a little cocktail. You know what I mean?
Shit. Oh man, I kind of like the collector's cards, and they're going to come out with them once again. The collector's cards of this is who you're going to catch. They were like little Pokemon cards of Star Wars villains for him to. Yeah. And see, that's something else they can do with it. When they do the series again or whatever, go through the rest of the deck that Sigourney Weaver had. Getting her to be on a series might be a little bit harder to do, but yeah.
I thought she was gonna be bad.
Yes, I did too.
When he came back with
Rata.
Yeah, and she was all like messy. I thought she was gonna be bad.
It was leaning that way a little bit, like, oh, she might backstab him here, but it was.
But then when they showed her and with everybody else coming in to save to save the day. I was like, oh hell yeah.
I forgot to say that she's in Avatar. She's like in the biggest movies ever.
Yeah.
Ever. That's why she's the king. She's the, like, who's gonna beat her? Maybe Arnold, maybe.
Oh, speaking of.
Oh,
so
shit.
One of my favorite things in there is they did, I don't know if you of course you did. They did an 80s action throwback to like the Commando days when Grogu suits up by himself when he's getting ready to go save Mando, and he puts on his gear and he straps it up. It looked like Commando. It looked like so that scene when he's getting all his guns together and stuff in Commando, or the scene in like when Sylvester Stallone in First Blood like takes the bandana and ties it up. You know what I mean? Like it gave all those vibes, which I was like, that's a nice little touch.
That's funny.
And then also, there's a lot of like little cameos too, which was kind of cool. Like, I would love to be in some of these meetings where they're like discussing things. They're like, who can we get to do the voice of Hugo Duran? What's old Martin Scorsese doing these days? How crazy is that? And I loved every minute of that.
When I saw his name in the intro,
yeah,
I was like, who is he gonna voice? Because I knew he wasn't gonna pop up on screen, and I don't know. You know what? That's kind of hypocritical of him, though, as he was trashing superhero movies, and now he's in.
Oh yeah, you're right. But still, dope.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, and he has a very specific voice, and that character, whatever world they're on, you know what I mean? He's that character's still New Yorker. You know what I'm saying?
Well.
That's part of who he is as a person, and that came through. Like that's the the bodega guy on the corner. You know what I mean?
That's what I told Deborah. I leaned over, and we were in. Like I said, there weren't many people around. I normally don't talk during the movies or anything like that. I was a little upset with the music for that scene when they get to that planet, and it was. I
agree.
It was like I made that song in 2003 off of a CD using loops or whatever, but then it had like a trap bass beat underneath it. It's like, oh, so they're in space New York. That's what I told Deborah. I was like, they're in space New York. She's like, what? I was like, never mind. I'll tell you later. And then they went to the hoagie shop, and then there's Martin Scorsese with
and right across from him, the screen's just like. In New York, right?
Yes.
It's not that different.
But
that beat was weird, dude. It just didn't fizz. Like they were trying to do their Star Wars version of it. You know what I mean? It felt forced.
I like the whole idea, and it didn't, not unlike the series. So yeah, it was different than the series. The series straight up felt like a Western. And I know they have to change things up, and they had to make things different and all that. This one didn't have that same Western feel to it, but I mean they're in a bigger galaxy now. He's doing other things. He's not just on a sand planet, and you don't have the cowboy hat walking in from the sun or anything like that. But I know she did the series with. That was another thing. I was kind of disappointed with the Book of Boba Fett, because I didn't want to see Boba Fett as a nice guy or anything like that. We all fell in love with the character of Boba Fett, and he had like 2 or 3 words for decades, and he was just a badass that whole time. And then they're showing us this book this series where he changed his life around too. I don't want Boba to change his life around.
Listen, I hear you. A lot of people complain about that. Cook was the number one. He's always in my ear about this. He's like, bro, this is not who he is. Listen, that's on us. Bro, like you said, he had 3 lines or whatever. Everything else, unless you read the comic books and some other things, we all made that up in our head. Now, collectively, we kind of had the same idea of what he was.
Yeah.
But that was on us. So just because you had expectations, bro, that does not mean that's who the character is. Now, also, I think the biggest point on that is that he's so much older and wiser, and he learned, and people do change, and I do get that. And I think, and the actor that plays him, he's recently said a few things. Now that this movie's out, talked about how they basically told him like, I think we're kind of done with Boba Fett, and he's like, there's so many more stories. Like, and his point was like the grittier, grimier stuff. He's like, I would love to see this come to fruition, and I agree. I think that's that's the Fett that we want to see, and they just skipped over that part. You know what I mean? They went from what we had seen, and then we went to, you know, when he's an old man at that point. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's changed and he's doing the right thing, and I think that's great. I do love that storyline, and a lot of people hated it, and that's fine.
I can empathize with the battle armor being a little tighter now, and
little, yeah, the hair to be a little grayer.
got to let out the side plates a little. Just
yeah. I would let them out a little bit. I would love for them to go back and, you know, before, you know, we got to see them on screen for the first time, to go back and go into those deep. I would love to see a Bounty Hunter series, like go back to before, go through that whole thing, because those characters, bro, are so dope, and the stories you could tell, the stories that already exist. First of all, there's enough stories in that universe to make 1 million movies and series right now, but you could even write more. In that prelude time where, you know, there you can see Boba in some dope situations.
There's so many things that can be put out in the Star Wars universe that aren't milking the blue milk cow. That you know, that's low hanging fruit for me. There, just
I don't hate it, but I hear you.
Hey, I like the scene when they just completely unload onto the ghost of Luke Skywalker and just destroy all the ground around him. I like that thing. I mean, I would have liked to see Luke do more. We won't get into that.
Right. But yeah. Another appearance, old Dave put himself in there a few times.
Like 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah, bro. I was like, that's cool. I'm not mad at it. For what he's done for us, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
There was one kind of side profile of him. I was like, okay, this guy's putting an unflattering shot of himself in this movie. So
it was a little, the angle was weird. Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, nothing against Pedro Pascal, other than the fact that I'm sick of seeing him because he's in everything. Not for other reasons that people talk about or anything like that. Only because he's in everything.
We started watching Game of Thrones again,
and then forgot that he was in Game of Thrones.
You're like, hey.
and then character in that series,
I didn't like him in yes he was. I didn't like him in Fantastic Four only because I like the guy from The Office being Reed. And
I agree.
You know, but yeah, he's in everything now. But
The Last of Us.
Yes,
in that.
Dude, that was I had played the game so much already, and knowing where it was going to go because of the game, I didn't get past season 1. But
oh, are you serious?
Because I don't like what happens in the second game, and not for any reasons that people tried to make for it, other than the simple fact that was my character, that was very relatable, the older jaded guy. You know what I mean?
They played it well.
Yeah.
But second season, bro, it's so intense. You gotta check it out.
But
my wife won't watch it either. She's like, nope, not gonna watch it. It's hard to watch, and I like that about. I think we should have things that are hard to watch. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean like, you know, the horror stuff that gets too crazy, but the humanity things where it's like it reminds you like life is fragile. You know, good people do die. Good people do bad things. Like that second season goes so deep, bro.
Nah, I'm not gonna watch it.
I was gonna say nope.
I respect it.
Not gonna happen,
bro. I get it.
Deb, what was the scene that you liked?
What was the scene?
It was kind of weird hearing him tell Grogu heal like 3 times, 3 or 4 times. He's like heal. I didn't feel that Mando would be telling him to heal.
I think that's his. I think that is the character trying to figure out. Like, he's not a parent. He was never parented. He doesn't know what else. So it's like, this is gonna be awkward. You know what I mean?
I didn't think about that. He never had parents.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
So it makes sense. It's weird, but it's weird on purpose, I think.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Deb. She's giving me the look. What?
No, I'm just listening to y'all. I don't know if I have a favorite part. I just like all the Grogu parts.
Yeah, of course.
For the simple fact that like there was more of him in this movie. Like
Then everything, yeah.
Then we saw in the series. I mean, he was in the series like all the time, but there was more he was more active in this one. There was a part that I didn't understand.
Okay.
And it was when Mando was still out, and he found when Grogu stole the fish.
Yes.
And then he went back, and I don't know who that character that he was talking to.
I think that character is Gattori.
But when the Hutt's hunter came and that wolf was with them, and they were just staring at each other, were they mind talking to each other?
No, they were talking off in the distance. You couldn't hear it, and it was just showing you Grogu's point of view that he couldn't hear the full conversation, and they were trying to tease you a little bit. Is the guy who gave him a fish, is he a bad guy? Is he spilling the beans on them or not? Which was kind of weird when they come back later on and get that he was the arms dealer. When they pick up his ship, he's nowhere to be found. I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, that's I also wonder that.
Yeah, that part was like, I was just like, what? Because he came back and he had this whole story, and I was like, I didn't hear any.
Well, it was kind of strange because that ship was crashed and it already had overgrowth on it. This is me getting way too technical. Had overgrowth on it.
That was weird.
He had a rocking chair there, like it looked like it was an old thing. And then when Din Djarin says, "Oh, that's the arms dealer that picked up Rada," and it was like, how long has the time been from then to then? You know, I would think like a week or two or something, but.
Right, yeah, it seemed like it was much sooner.
Yeah.
Then I was like, well, maybe you just put that stuff on there to cover it or hide, but
camouflage,
hidden, But I or make it look like it's broken down so nobody took it. I don't know, but that I also had that question too. Yeah.
Would the other bounty hunter that looked like I like that they had the clone droids, not the clone droids. The what were they from Attack of the Clones?
Yeah,
the reused parts.
Yes. Yeah.
The Roger.
That's cool.
They had the heads of those droids on the bodies of other droids, and the Hutts were using them as their own little private, army. Yeah. But who should I know who that bounty hunter is? The one that had the wolf dog thing creature?
No, I don't. I can't remember like seeing him in anything else, like in the books or comics or anything. But I'm sure he is. Some other nerds are like out nerding me right now, going, "It's so and so," but I didn't place him. I thought it was kind of cool. Like, did you see the series they did with like all the Japanese anime?
No, I did not, but I saw the nod towards that style of.
It looks like one of the characters in that.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
So the headpiece he had on, but then also the way that he carried himself and the stance he was in when the ship popped up over him and the light came down and all that. I was like, that's very Asian inspired.
Yeah. Which Star Wars always is. I mean,
yes.
From jump, you know what I mean? That's so.
Space Samurai.
Yep.
So real quick, Aaron, give us a couple of minutes. Tell us what you got going on.
What don't I got going? No, I'm just kidding. Things are good, man. I'm about ready to get back on the road. We just did Des Moines last month for a convention. So people that haven't been on my page or don't know me that well, I travel all over the U.S. tattooing. I tattoo at my home shop here in Bakersfield, California, Pretty in the Ink, which that shop is great. We've got a killer squad in there right now. Everybody's just slinging great ink, and we have the best piercer in town, and everything's really, really good. We actually just got nominated. We won the award for Best Tattoo and Piercing Shop in Bakersfield.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was a huge deal, and that was voted by the people, people's champ. So, it's dope. It was really cool to get that honor because it is our clients, and our clients love us and we love them. It's fantastic. So, but we're about to hit the road again. Like I said, I just took a crew to Des Moines for the convention over there, which was fantastic. We always love going back there. They treat us so well. And now we're getting ready to go on the road. So we're going to be in your neck of the woods soon, man. We're hitting Sinners Tattoo Expo in Dallas, Texas, June 12th through the 14th. We're hitting Villain Arts in Portland, Oregon, July 17th through the 19th. And then we're going to hit Resurrection Island in Wheeling, West Virginia, which is like an hour from Pittsburgh, October 9th through the 11th. So that's another one, Resurrection Island. Dennis and his crew do an amazing job of taking care of the artists. Like we go to all these different places, and there's definitely different levels to this game. You know what I mean? And there's ones where we go in and we're, you know, artists of 200 artists, and then we go in ones that are 2,000 artists. So there's definitely different levels to it. But you really know the ones that really take really great care of their artists. And Resurrection Island's one, Middle of the Map, the one in Des Moines, just they do such a great job. So we always go those ones. Dallas and Portland, those are new for us this year. So I've tattooed in Dallas before, not with this specific convention, but Dallas is always good to me. But I'm not super booked out yet for that one. So anybody out there wants to get in touch with me, get on Instagram at Art by Aaron W. Shoot me a message. Let's get it booked. Portland, I've got a couple spots left, but that one's almost full. And then Resurrection Island's almost full. That's not till October, but like I said, I keep coming back to it. I've got a great clientele there, so I've got a few spots open for that too. So, and then if you're in, you know, in California, you can come to the home shop, and we'll get down on some stuff. Do some Star Wars stuff. That'd be super sick. Badass. But I do all styles, so whatever you want to do, I'm down.
What are those dates again for the tour?
Okay, so Sinners, Dallas, Texas, June 12th through the 14th. Villain Arts in Portland, Oregon, July 17th through the 19th. And Resurrection Island in Wheeling, West Virginia, October 9th through the 11th.
Nice.
And for anybody out there that's not been to a convention, tattoo conventions are super dope. Especially, yeah, like Wheeling, like most of those people are not going to travel to Cali. You know what I mean? So what other option are they going to have to get work by me? You know what I'm saying? So it's always dope. There's always great artists, especially some of those smaller shows where they handpick the artists. It makes a big difference. And so the way it works is we fly in on a Thursday, set up, tattoo Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly home on Monday. So it's always, and I also travel with just a bunch of straight gangsters. You know what I mean? Like everybody's so good at what they do. And I love traveling with my crew. And I always have a couple artists from my shop with me. And then a couple of the homies I just travel with. So it's really cool, and we really enjoy it. So if you can make it out to any of those dates, I would love to see you out there, especially if you're fans of Cast of the Pod or you're a Star Wars person or whatever. Like, let's go.
Badass. I'll see what we can do in June. I got to talk to my boss, see if I can get some time off, but you know, we'll see how that goes.
That'd be sick. I know. Here's the thing, and I know when we've talked about this, is I have so many. I actually have people that fly out from Texas to get tattooed by me because, you know, we used to do El Paso every year, and then my buddy Mike that did that show doesn't do it anymore. And then, you know, Dallas or Fort Worth, we've done a couple years in a row. But, you know, all my homies out there go like, hey, come to Texas and you know, we'll definitely get work for you. And then I booked a show in Dallas and they go, oh, cool, that's 18 hours away. You know what I mean? Or something crazy. Like, I know it's like 8 hours for you. Like, Texas is so damn big. And so even when we're in Texas, it's still too far for people. So I get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, if you can make it, and especially if you want to shoot any video or photos, bro, I'll pay you, get you dialed in. I'd love to hire you for a convention. Nesto shot 2 conventions for me, and we had such a blast with it. We had so much fun. So you can check out the videos on the IG. He did a really great job. Shout out to Nesto.
We need to get him back on the pod.
That dude is... Bro, he's got like 12 things to edit for me.
Bajillion.
Yeah, no, you're right, dude. Yeah, he needs to be doing his own pod. I know he's helping out Homegirl right now. She's got a thing going on that's like super dope. But yeah, he's always doing something, and I'm glad he's busy, but he's a little less busy. That'd be cool too. We got a bunch of ideas that we've been working on. We just don't have the time to finish it, which is unfortunate, you know? So but yeah, he's always great on the pod.
So, ending the discussion on Mandalorian and Grogu, Deb, what was? Did you have any like favorite kills in the movie? Because they were kills. This wasn't like Batman where he doesn't. There was some. Hopefully, some of them died. Because if not, there's some painful ER visits going on there.
If not, they're in one of those like traction full body cast things. You know what I mean? Like
pins and everything
in the bantha tank.
Yes.
Bro, those were rough.
I like the whole fight when it was what's his name?
Who? What did he look like?
The Hutt, Rada
the Hutt, yeah. Which is Jabba's son. I don't know if
yes.
yeah.
When him and I'm gonna to say it, Mondo. When they were fighting against each other, but then they have
the gladiator scene.
Yeah, I like that whole scene.
So did you catch on, or is it just me trying to put too much into it? The whole arena looked like the chessboard that's in the Millennium Falcon. And then they did the scene where the two characters, when Chewie and 3PO are playing against each other, it was and Chewie beat 3PO. It was the same two creatures from that chess game, and he picked them up and dropped them, and he's like,
Yep, I love that. That's so dope.
I hadn't talked to you about that yet, but there was a, yeah. I'm sitting there just thinking to myself, let the Wookiee win.
Yeah.
But then I like when they shut down the laser guards, and instead of them just being they weren't just mindless creatures. They were like, oh, we can get out. And then they just started getting revenge on everybody else.
When they first came out, that snake one,
the centipede millipede,
he climbed up the wall, and then that guy that was standing right there, he electrocuted him, and he fell back down.
Yeah.
So they already knew
who the real opposition was.
Like they knew that they could climb up, but the electricity was there.
So the point that I was trying to say earlier about Pedro Pascal being in it too much, I can be completely okay with an entire series using his voice. I hear his voice and it's din jarring. Yeah. You know, but I would be all right if they never show his face again. I was a fan of the Judge Dredd film with Carl Urban where he never took the mask off because Dredd never took the mask off. I love the Stallone one too. I actually saw the Stallone Judge Dredd before I read any of the comics, not realizing Judge Dredd never took his helmet off.
Yeah.
You know.
But during the series, during the series, didn't he take his helmet off a couple times?
There was a whole explanation on why he was okay, and he bathed himself again in the Lake Minnetonka and
oh man, yeah, thank you. I love that. That's the home. Yeah, but also the behind the scenes on that. Do you remember where he was like Pedro was like having issues when they were writing the next season? Like, hey, I need my face on screen. I need more screen time with my actual face. You know what I mean? Like that was a discussion
typical
that
actor.
was had. Yeah, ego.
But yeah, I would be completely okay if whoever his stunt person is. And did you notice they had the body double and then the stunt double in the credits 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Yeah, which was cool. I think the main second the body double is something Wayne, like not like Bruce Wayne, but like his last name's Wayne. Anyways,
Bruce Wayne.
But I mean, I would be completely okay with that. Nothing against Pedro, but just because, and I like how they did explain the Hutt say, "Oh, well, your enemies saw your face. Now you're disgraced forever." And that was the first thing I thought. No, he just needs to go back to Lake Minnetonka and jump in there with Apollonia. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
When he dropped under the water and he was fighting that sea snake or whatever it was.
Yeah.
When I saw it in the trailer and I just saw like a split second of it, I thought it was another mythosaur, and it was like, really? How are they gonna have another mythosaur? It's called a mythosaur for a reason, because
Yeah.
So I went into the movie a little already upset, wanting to be mad. Yes, wanting to be mad, but yeah.
Yeah, and also that thing was pretty dope too. Like that was a good foe. You know what I mean? Like that thing was legit.
I liked where he had that spear, and as it was speeding past him, he just ripped the sides open. It was like that. Yeah. See, that was badassery right there. That was what a Mandalorian would do. That was.
Yep, agreed.
Anything else, Deb? Are we going to do a rating, a 0 to 10?
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right, you first, Aaron.
Oof. It was good, man. I enjoyed it. I'd really have to see it again for sure, but I'd say like a 8.5. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
Deb?
I enjoyed it too. I would have preferred a series, to tell more of the story. But I sat there through the whole time and didn't fall asleep, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
The true test.
I just want to say this. Oh, go ahead. Give your number.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I give it a 9.
Wow, 9. Oh, I guess I should bring the calculator out, right? Because my math I'm too sleepy to do real math right now.
The other day, we went to to a CD exchange, and they had a Grogu there, a big Grogu.
A life-size Grogu.
Yeah, for $20, and I was like, nah.
I was like, Deb, you
said that?
Yeah,
exactly.
I did.
Wow.
I wasn't feeling
Drive
good.
there right now.
I wasn't
As soon as
feeling
we hang
good,
up.
and now I'm regretting saying that. I'm like, can we go back and get it and see if it's still there?
Right now. As soon as we hang up, Dev, drive there directly. Hey, there was I will say this when I lived real quick. When I lived in San Antonio, in 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. They had a CD exchange, and I was just I was doing my student teaching there. So I was a broke college kid, living in an efficiency apartment, working but not getting paid for my student teaching. And that CD exchange there was so dope. And I don't know who kept bringing in all those new CDs, but they were. Hi, thank you so much if you're still out there, because I got so much cool stuff there. I love that place so much.
Somebody was buying them, ripping them, and then just selling them right after.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure, and I appreciate that.
So I give it an 8. Just because losing 2 points because of my grumpiness, I guess. But between the three of us, it averages out to an 8.5.
That's not bad. Yeah, I knew.
Solid.
Now I feel kind of stupid because I'm like my brain isn't mathing tonight. But look, 8.5, 9, 8. What's the average?
7.
No. I know you're joking, but
Yes, I'm joking.
That Texas high school system, I don't know what to say here, but
I take offense to that.
Hey, I will be the first one to admit, because I worked at a school district for more than a decade and a half a while back, and they're like, we need you to talk to the kids about your story and this and that. I was like, I dropped out of school. I was a dropout because I started making money. And then it wasn't until I started working at a bank that is definitely not Citibank, and and started being in charge of people. And then they were like, hey, and I was in charge of people for a while. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, in your paperwork, it doesn't say anything about your college degree or anything like that. I was like, I don't have one because I dropped out of school. And they're like, what? It's like, I've been doing the job all this time perfectly, whatever. And so that's why I went back and got my GED, just to shut them up at that bank in the city. But but yeah, no, so that was one of the things at the school. They're like, well, you need to talk to the kids. I was like, I'm a dropout, right? I got my ghetto equivalency degree, my GED.
But you did get it.
Yes.
There's something to be said for that too. You know what I mean? After the fact, to actually do the work.
Well, we had a kid recently that we were doing, because we do photo shoots also, and we were doing a graduation shoot, and he's like, yeah, I'm done. I've already done high school. I was like, well, you got to go get some kind of college degree. I said, at least a bare minimum of something. And he's like, do I need it to get a job? I was like, I lost out on a editing job that years ago, this was probably about 15 years ago, that starting pay was $96,000 a year. Just being a scrub video editor. Yeah. And I lost out on the job because there was this lady, she was like 52 years old, and she had like the most basic, had nothing to do with editing degree or anything like that, and her work was shit. And the people that told me,
she had the piece of paper.
She had the piece of paper, and she got the job. And my buddy that had told me about it, he's like, man, I'm doing all her work. She fucking sucks. She's not even trying. And then she retired a year later. It's like, I'm going to try it again. And they just got rid of the whole position because she had did so bad, and everybody else had pulled up her slack. They're like, we don't need anybody else. But I lost out on, almost $100,000 just because I didn't have that piece of paper. So lesson to you kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Mandalorian and Grogu.
That's our PSA for today.
Yes. Listen to the grumpy old man. But I think we're done. Unless you got anything else you want to throw in there, Aaron.
Nah, buddy. I'll just thank you for having me on again. I always appreciate it. I love when I can come on here and talk nerd stuff, because we don't get to do it as much anymore, especially without Felipe's. I was on there pretty often, and so I don't come on pods too crazy. But again, anybody out there, I'm just let you know I'm the number one hitter You know what I'm saying?
Whenever you want to,
whatever
whenever you want to jump in, and you've heard on Cast the Pod, we don't always stick on the subject. So if you're not watching the film, or if you just want to jump in, whatever, just let us know. You know.
Hell yeah.
But the next film, speaking of which, the next film we have coming up, we might Big Sean from the Felipe's Garage group, the fellow mechanic. He threw out a film that his dad was part of out there in Milpitas, California. They had they made a film in 1975, way back in the day, and it's having its 50-year anniversary coming up. It's called the Milpitas. I don't want to say Milpitas, the Milpitas Monster. And it was made by the high school kids there. And the whole city got into it. And there's a couple of names that did like big names that, you know, won awards and all that did production on it. But the whole town gets into it. You can see like the cops are in on it, and you can just tell everybody's really excited and volunteered their time. But yeah. So and cool. Big Sean's dad was in there somehow. I need to talk to him and ask him how, but I'm trying to get him on there. Matt Martinez is going to be on that episode too. Now that we're on Zoom, you know, but before with Riverside, it was hard getting people the apps to line up and everything like that. But yeah,
right.
Now we've stepped back in time, back to Zoom.
Now that you said mechanics, I have a thing. I know we're already getting off, but going back to the movie.
Oh yeah.
The little creatures.
The little mechanics.
The little mechanics.
They're the best.
What are they called?
Shit.
Yeah, just
because I was calling them mechanics, and then I started laughing because
what are those things?
I told Deborah, I was like, you know what? That was one of the things that kind of upset me a little bit that I was mad about, because those they're mechanics and they're smart. They're damn good mechanics, and they would have known that Din Djarin wouldn't have fit in their vehicle. And then Deb brings up the point. What did you say?
I said, but they weren't worried about him. They were worried about their friend. they didn't care about him. They're like, they were just worried about their friend because that wolf thing had taken him in his mouth.
I was surprised they didn't eat him.
Yeah, I know. They're like, Grogu can take care of him. We're just worried about our friend. That's why when they were running back to their ship, and then he was like, "We'll be back."
Yeah, the Anzellans.
Anzellans.
That's how you pronounce it. Anzellans.
I was calling them the mechanics.
Yeah, and Babu Frick.
Yes,
that's the name, the main one. But yeah, those things are cute as hell, bro. And the other
marketing.
Like, hey, the first time they came, like when we originally saw him, and the first time I heard him talk, like I didn't tune in, but like he speaks English, just a weird, you know what I mean?
The Minions.
You gotta listen, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that was like, "Bad baby."
Yeah. Well, he said, "Come on, baby."
Yeah.
Trapper Wolf was Dave Filoni's character is Trapper Wolf. That's the name he's given himself. No, that's
hey, that fits the hat.
The hat, yeah, it just gives him an excuse to.
Hey, listen, I like that dude. He's done a lot for me, so I appreciate him.
I didn't tell Deborah because I wanted to save it for the pod. Did you see the story lately that Ming-Na Wen put up about her first appearance? So Deb, that's Chung Li. That's yeah. So she came out.
She's dope.
Yes, and she was a Star Wars fan before this. You know, she's a nerd and everything like that. And it's on her IG, and I think she's making fried rice or something as she's telling this story. It was recently, so it'll be on the top of her list. And she's talking about how when she first got onto set, and it was just like a couple of rocks, and she was disappointed. She was like, "Oh, I'm in the Star Wars galaxy, and this is all I'm getting." Blah 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 blah. And she had never been on that set, which now is commonplace in movies. But nobody realized that it was a 3D animated, moving the LED walls and roof, and then they flipped on the switch, and she said she started crying, and then she got she actually took a picture, even though they weren't allowed to have their phones out. But then she had somebody sneak a picture where she's kind of standing there at the rock set, and in the background is the binary suns, just like how Luke did. And it's a good little story. If you check it out on her IG.
Yeah, she did such a good job, man. That was well cast, and yeah, she nailed it.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. I think we're done here with Cast of the Pod. This is different. I'm not fighting with Cobweb.
And we actually talked about the movie.
What's up, Cobb? Shout out to Cobweb.
We actually talked about the movie. We went off a little, but we came right back.
Cobb gets into the nerd stuff too. I just don't think he likes admitting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like does he not think it's cool?
I don't know. He's got some action figures and everything like that. Spoiler alert. I don't know if I was supposed to let that out.
This whole podcast is a spoiler alert.
Yeah. Don't mess with his street cred, bro.
All
His
right.
bubble messes with the street cred.
Yeah. Ain't no bubbles on the street. All right, let's go ahead and stop this right here. All right, so until next time, thanks for tuning in. I'm Josh.
I'm Deb.
Joined by
Aaron.
And thanks for listening to Cast of the Pod. You have been warned. Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.